Hey everyone, Zoran Solano here from Hot Property Buyers Agency. I'm here with Daniel Mumford, a buyer's agent from our team. How are you going, mate?
Very well. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. Guys, this video is going to be short and sweet. We want to talk about auction strategy. As you guys would have seen, we are very active in the auction environment here in Brisbane, and we recently secured a property for one of our clients. Dan, let us know and let everyone out there know a little bit about the client we were searching for.
So the client that we were looking for was an international client. He's actually moved to Brisbane recently. He's bought a business and is very inundated with day-to-day of running a business. He also doesn't really understand the Brisbane market, having not lived here for very long at all. So he engaged our services to help him find the right property that's going to suit him and give him that really strong capital growth.
Yeah. So look, this particular client, as Dan said, very time poor. So the search began, and what we ended up finding was a great property, LMR zone, which is low to medium density for future development potential, which wasn't really a real strong criteria for him. But when we identified the value of the property and the opportunity, it's something that he really appealed to, having that potential upside, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that is attractive to a lot of people, having that future development potential. Not to say that he's going to do it himself. He may in 15 years, you don't know, but just that opportunity is always going to be there. They're not going to zone things backwards. They're only going to zone it forwards and possibly higher densities in the future. But it'll really be an underlying factor for the growth for that one.
That's right. So guys, we went to auction. It was a Saturday morning, 9:30 auction. Auctioneer was actually running late, unfortunately, which I personally think plays into the buyer's hands a little bit in as far as creating an environment in the auction. But Daniel was the one who actually bid on this property, and I'm really excited to have a few questions for him about how he was successful in bidding on the day. So Dan, let us know a little bit about the auction. How did it start? How did it flow?
So the auction started off reasonably slowly. Obviously, the auctioneer being late, there was probably 4 or 5 registered bids.
Yeah, I'd say 4 or 5. Yep.
And they kicked off the auction, and the first opening bid was around 300,000, which is well below what the property is worth, and sort of a Hail Mary opening bid.
Yeah, that's right. I think the agent or auctioneer had influence to a buyer to get them to create an opening bid and start the momentum. That silence you hear at the start of an auction is deafening to an agent and a seller. So the fact that they promoted one of the buyers to sort of try and get them involved and start at 300,000, as you said, well below where the property sat price-wise. So what strategy did you use? After you heard someone say 300,000 over in the corner, what was your response?
So we went straight back with a very strong offer where we believe the property, wasn't quite there in value, but strong enough to effectively, they call it a knockout bid in the industry, to really silence the rest of the competition. So to give you a bit of a background information, that offer was 387,500. Now there's a couple of reasons for that. I
want to know why it's an unusual number.
So with it being an unusual number, it makes people think, if someone was to bid afterwards, if you bid on a round number, say 380, the next bid may be 390. If you bid 387,500 or 385, the next bid will probably be in increments of either 5,000 or 2,500. So you can really influence how other people bid by what you are bidding, rather than just jumping in round numbers. So
what happened when you bid 387,500 immediately after that 300 offer?
Yeah.
I was there and I saw the reaction. Everyone's like, geez. And it was dead silence.
Yeah. So typically what people are looking for, and people are generally quite intimidated by the auction process. So they want the bidding to be a bit slower, and this is what an auctioneer wants to achieve, is momentum. So getting everyone involved, making people a little more relaxed. But by producing this knockout bid or throwing in that knockout bid, you really stop the competition. So it was pretty much dead silence after that, and we were in the box seat with the top bid at that stage.
Yeah, that's right. So true, in that moment in the auction when we realised everyone else was quiet, I actually was there, as I mentioned, and I asked the question, are we on the market? Are we selling at this level? Which is another question I encourage all buyers to ask sometime during an auction, because you may be bidding against yourself or against other buyers and you're not even on the market yet. So that was a question I asked, and their response was, no, we're not on the market. What did we identify soon after that?
Soon after that, the selling agent approached us with the auctioneer to disclose where the reserve was, and we were a way apart. The reserve that they had set was $410,000. Now, I think that reserve was probably about right. It was probably about value from where I appraised the property, but we weren't just going to give them the 410.
No, that's right.
So
That's
we
right.
engaged in some further negotiations with the auctioneer. What we ended up coming to is 400,000 is where we were going to put our last and final bid in to the auctioneer. What we then did is put that $400,000 bid in on the market, and it went under the hammer. He called it very quickly, and it was all done.
Yeah. And what I think we saw in that environment was not a lot of people were ready on the day. Being a development property, a lot of people still had to do due diligence and wanted terms and conditions. The fact that our team had undertaken that due diligence prior to auction day and that we were ready to buy on the day, and our client was in a position with strong finance, it enabled us, I believe, to purchase the property under market value because of that environment, and it also under our client's maximum authority as well. So again, great result for the client, great result for Hot Property, and I think it's a real testament to the value of strategic bidding at an auction and having professional representation. So,
Definitely.
Good work, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for everyone for listening. If you have any questions in relation to this or any of our videos, or you want myself or Daniel to represent you at auction, give us a call on 07 3170 3760. Cheers.